I've been thinking a lot. Once again. The thoughts are thinking. Kind of like they're supposed to. Wow. But I've been thinking a lot. Because a lot of stuff's been coming up. Okay? A lot of stuff's been coming up. I have kind of been getting back into tarot, which is great. Always exciting, right? And because of that, I think my head has been kind of doing a lot more critical thinking, if that makes sense. Just about pretty much everything. But yeah, I've been thinking a lot. And one of the things that I've been thinking about, and it kind of relates a lot to like change, so kind of like my last video or so. I think it was like my last second to last video ago. I talked about change. And change is inevitable. It happens in everybody's life, whatever, right? I'm not going to go on a rant on it right now, because I could rant about it for forever and just go in the same circle again, okay? But, and I'm sorry if I sound a little funny. First of all, it's early in the morning, and second of all, my throat's not doing great, so we're working with it. But I think with change, I've been thinking a lot about the things that have been changing within my life. And one of them is the way I perceive a lot of certain conflicts, which is really interesting. I think that I have been working on getting more comfortable with confrontation and being in conflict. But sometimes, well, first of all, you have to actually be in that in order to actually work on it, right? And I'm not going out and starting fights with people, okay? That's not how that's working. I'm not doing that, all right? We're not going and starting random fights with people, I promise, not strangers, okay? I'm not doing that. But I have been, I think, just having things happen within my life that are making me have to pretty much retrain myself in the way I view a lot of the things that happen. So, at work, a lot of things have been coming up. This is my longer week. I work for 4 days now. I'm on my Saturdays, so we're about to be on my weekend, which is always great. But this week has been kind of crazy. In a weirdly not crazy kind of way, okay? It's not been like, we've not had a lot of work, it's been kind of just the same over and over again. There's not anything super crazy going on, but I think what's happened is I've been in my mind a lot, which usually isn't a bad thing. I'm a pretty good multitasker, but I think the problem, and I was explaining this to Emmanuel last night, is it's like I'm thinking so much that I'm not actually having any thoughts about things. It's just stuff that's getting thrown all around, right? It's not anything specific. And the thing is that a lot of these thoughts lead to other thoughts. So they're not really work-related. Basically, because I've been thinking so much, I've been kind of getting distracted at work. And I've been making little mistakes, right? And the thing is that, like anybody, I feel like anybody that is a fairly decent human being, and even me, like, if I was working with somebody and they made a small little mistake, I'd be like, hey, it's okay, just brush it off, we'll get it fixed, whatever. The thing about my work is that one small little mistake can snowball into something a bit bigger, right? And so I think, so within this line of work, I've had a lot more instances where I have had problems come up, because it's not just something you can just be like, oh, just brush it under the rug. No, you have to, like, one up for it, And I am not somebody that will hide behind other people. if I did something wrong, I'm gonna tell you I did something wrong. How can we fix it? I don't like leaving things just like that. It makes the work day kind of miserable because I'm thinking about it the whole time, kind of guilty about stuff, but I don't do that, okay? I don't. So when I make these little mistakes, they get brought up, and I do make sure that things are okay. I check that, there's no issue going on with what I've done and whatever. But it's been happening a lot this week, like a lot. And I think that because things have been happening, I've been getting more into my thoughts, which is not a bad thing. I believe that it's very important that you face those kind of things, and that you have to face them, because that's how you grow as a person, right? And this whole week has been basically for me just about like handling small little issues as they come up, because I have a really hard time not necessarily admitting that I'm wrong, because I'll tell people that I've done something wrong. It's more of the aftermath after something like that, where I'm relearning how to be gentle with myself within those situations. And that is very tiring, because I have almost like two sides of me. I have the side of me that is like, oh my god, I can't believe we've done this, like, geez, what is going on? And then I have the other side of me that's trying to be almost like a gentle parent and calm myself down and remind myself that it is okay to make mistakes as long as like they get fixed and that you were honest about them, like you don't have to hide things all the time. And so that's been like its own thing. So I've been really tired about that, and I think that in of itself is just, this week's been kind of crazy, right? And healing takes time. It doesn't just happen overnight. And I think that's the thing that people get wrong sometimes, is that they look at other people and they're like, how did you change your life around that fast? How did you do that? And some people, it really does come that easy. Some people, it does come that easy. And for others, it takes a really long time. So like, I've been kind of on this journey. I mean, we're always learning. You're always like finding new ways of thinking about stuff. That is a constant. That is a constant thing that's going to happen. That does not change. The way you go about it does. So I feel like I've gotten into a healthier mindset on how to handle these situations and all of this. And I'm still working on it, because I think that I kind of call it my floating state, where when things like this happen, it's almost like having an out-of-body experience, but you're not, where my emotions become a bit weird, and it almost feels like I'm just watching myself do stuff. And I'm learning to pull myself back down to be able to handle these situations. And it is very difficult to do sometimes. So, yeah, this week has been a lot of that. Like, it's every single day I've had something happen. Some days I've had like 2 or 3 things happen, and I'm like, oh my god. And I just think that it's because I'm not really all here right now. And that's okay. I think that we all need to learn to have some grace with ourselves. Things like this happen. It's not the end of the world. Like, you will make mistakes within life constantly. It's just how you go about them and how you decide to handle them that kind of is the factor of what happens next, I guess. So, but yeah, things have been kind of hectic, kind of crazy. I'm like, it's been a lot, but I believe that things happen for a reason. I don't really believe in coincidences. And I am very grateful to have the job that I have right now, just because of the fact, like, we had just recently gone through a huge layoff, like over 60%. We got rid of a lot of people, and I somehow survived. And at first I was upset about it, and now I am like, it's a win-win situation either way. But like, right now, I have a job, and I have a fairly steady income, and, you know, that, but I'm also very happy that this job has given me so many new ways of viewing things, and I've learned a lot at this job, and I feel like I've really grown as a person here. You can find that anywhere, wherever you go. It could be a job, it could be a relationship, it could be a mindset, it can be an experience that you have, with literally anything that will shape you, and it just depends on how you go about it, so. I get scared to get matcha sometimes because I had a bad experience in like last year that made me throw up, and every time I get matcha now I'm like worried it's gonna happen again, but that's good. Does that not look like a dolphin? What is that? It looks like a dolphin. Outfit change since I said I was gonna do this after work and I didn't do it after work, so we're doing it today now. With Emmanuel. Emmanuel's a co-star, except he's not in the video. So, I said this is gonna be satisfying, which is why I'm recording this now. So, talks. Okay. See if I can just stand the camera. I just want to make sure I can see. Ta-da! Decided to do my nails since I've been biting them again. So some of them are kind of butchered up. A little bit messed up. But I hurt this one last night. There's a little bit of my poor cuticles hurt. But I'm not a professional nail artist, so I literally just usually clip or file them and then put some nail polish on. But that's what we're gonna do. I just wanted to kind of finish talking about, I think, what I was talking about at the beginning of this week, of just how, like, I feel like I'm a very different person from who I used to be, which isn't necessarily, it doesn't make the younger version of me bad, right? It just means that I've grown as a person, and younger me went through a lot of stuff, and I'm very grateful for, like, the past versions of me that have gotten me this far, and I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for them, but I'm very different. I'm a very different person, and I've learned a lot, and I've had to heal a lot. And I'm still healing from things. Things still come up, and we just take it a day at a time. And I just think that it's very important to give yourself grace, and that it's very important to love yourself, no matter what's happened, right? You can have things that, you know, you've done in the past that may have hurt other people or even yourself or whatever, but you move forward, because there's no point living in the past if it's not gonna fix itself, right? You fix it for yourself, and you move forward. And I try not to think too much about the things that have happened in the past that maybe, you know, I could have done better, because in all reality, at the time I didn't know how to do any better. I did what I knew to do, and that's really all I can ask for. Because it's funny, it's like, oh, I could sit here and I could go, well, I should have done it this way, or I should have done it that way. You didn't know. You coulda, shoulda, woulda. But you didn't. So, and that's fine, you know. You live and you learn. And I think I'm healing a lot of those versions of myself that hold a lot of that weight still. And I'm coming to the understanding that it's okay to let it go. And that it's okay to let myself move on and to heal from those situations, because I don't want to hold on to them anymore. And I'm a different person now. So. I like this color. I don't know if you can see it, but it's like all shimmery. And the funny thing is that I know it's easier said than done to just move on from things. Because, like, me personally, I hold on to a lot of stuff, okay? I'm a pretty petty person, and it's hard for me to let go of things. But it's like I had a dream a few nights ago about somebody that was a pretty significant part of my childhood that caused a lot of childhood trauma. And I had a dream about this person, and the dream was pretty much just let it go. And it was like, in the dream I remember getting to say the things that I think that I've always wanted to say to this person, and then the dream just ended. And it was just like, I remember waking up and thinking about it and being like, what the heck? But also it got my brain going. And I think that, you know, when you hold on to so much stuff, things tend to start dragging you down. Because it's a lot to carry. And I think that it was seriously just the universe being like, just let it go. Just release it. Like, it's been 21 years of this. Just let it go. And I'm like, okay. And I think that goes with a lot of this relationships and experiences and jobs and really anything that has kind of held space up here. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. I do need to let a lot of stuff go. And I think that it's good practice. Because they won't be the last things. And there will be other things that will come up. But I know that I have healed enough from a lot of my past stuff that I have also learned from, and that I can pretty much face a lot of things now because of that. Because I am so much stronger. And I have more tools at my disposal that I didn't have when I was younger. And I think that's a beautiful thing. I think, you know, I have absolutely no hate for the ego side of me or the shadow side of me, or for my child self, because they're there for a reason. One is just trying to protect you, and the other one is living in the past. And you just have to know how to take care of them and how to take care of yourself and what works best for you. And I think that's just kind of what I figured out, is just do the things that you love to do. Do the things that help you work through the weight of things, and you move on and you move forward. Doesn't mean you have to forget any of the things that have ever happened to you, but when you sit and you go over the situations over and over and over again in your head, and you think about all the things you could have done differently, it doesn't help you. It's just wasted time. And I think that everybody would benefit if, you know, you just heal from it. So, yeah, this week has been a lot. I have a tea because my throat's been bugging me. And there's been a lot of things happening this weekend, or just this week. But we work through them and we move forward. So I think I'm gonna end this video here. It's just me ranting about healing, so have a good one.